Hi, welcome to Ask GMBN Tech. As you can see, we're not in the GMBN Tech studio. We are, in fact, in a Trailhead Bicycle Company in Shrewsbury. I put a post up on social media recently saying I was going to be filming in the bike shop. This is the one, and I've got 40 questions here. We're not going to go through all of them because there's frankly just too many and we haven't got the time. But I'm going to fire away with Sandy, the owner of the shop. He might answer some of them. He might point me to mechanics or other people. We'll just run with it. So first question is from Lauren Jenkins. Hey Lauren, by the way. I think you know Lauren as well. It says, how are they, or how do they have the capacity to encourage new talent into the industry, in brackets, through apprenticeships, etc. Also, how have things changed over the past 5 years in terms of retail versus workshop? I mean, that's actually a really key question for bike shops.
Two really good questions there, Lauren. Answering the first part of that question would be apprenticeship. So Sam, who is our mechanic here, he is undergoing a 2-year apprenticeship. He'll come out with a proper qualification at the end. It's SciTech qualification, but there's also kind of shop businessy type stuff within the course. You can do that instead of going to college. So you could leave school and do an apprenticeship in a bike shop. Second part of Lauren's question, how has it changed? Well, that's a really interesting one, Lauren, and I am going to answer it very honestly. So we sold a lot of bikes in lockdown, in COVID times. It was like a captive audience. People were just wanted to be on bikes. There's a bit of a hangover on that now. The shop, well, this shop and every other shop in the country has too many bikes. We're overstocked. We literally need to flush this model year through. Yeah. Get on to next 2024, maybe 2025. We'll start to hopefully see things picked up. But at the moment, more bikes than there is customers.
Yeah, and that totally reflects with what I heard from many distributors and brands when I was at Eurobike. Yeah. And mostly people are saying, yeah, it is a struggle and they're going to get through it. But 25 is pretty much where everyone's anticipating things to kind of return to normal, whatever that is.
I hope so, Dotty.
Yeah. Okay, next one from Overforked Peter says, if someone wants to start a small bike service, as in like a business, should you specialise in, say, suspension or brakes or perhaps general services? So I guess like mobile mechanics, something like that.
Okay. Well, I'll quickly answer that one. I'm going to say you need to specialise in everything because you don't know who's going to come through your door. It could be traditional Dutch style women's bike with a basket on the front, needs a Sturmey Archer hub servicing. Could be matey down the road with his downhill bike, needs tuning before a race. So don't put all your eggs in one basket and try and be good at everything on a bicycle when it comes to fixing. Yeah,
that's a really good point. Outward facing. Yeah, you don't want to turn down any business, really, do you?
No, definitely not.
Like that. Okay, this is a good one for the workshop maybe. As a part-time home mechanic, what is the repair we should definitely avoid, and what should we learn to perform by ourselves?
I think this is a good question for Sam.
All right, we'll should we pick this up, Sam?
Yeah, let's get over there.
One thing that springs to mind is suspension servicing. So I'd recommend by all means have a go at doing a basic lower leg service, fresh oil, but anything past that, it starts to get a little bit more technical. You start messing with sort of nitrogen charge, high pressure stuff. So by all means have a go at doing some basic services, but I would suggest staying away from anything further than that.
And what about some stuff that everyone should be able to do themselves?
Just general maintenance, bolt checking is a key one. Making sure you've got brake pads, stuff like that. It's more sort of the preventative maintenance that I'd recommend, because then you don't end up in here.
Okay, this one's about workshop tools and not tools. So any particular non-bike tools that are good for working on bikes?
Number one, the wooden stick. It is literally just a wooden stick, but it is very useful for doing things like suspension services, cleaning down lower legs, or basically anywhere in the bike you can't reach with your hand. This is good to get in there with. Yeah, it's good. And then also Velcro strap is another thing I couldn't live without. Doing stuff like frame bearings where you need to move a swing arm out of the way, it just holds stuff out of the way nicely. Or for example, pressure testing brakes, you can leave the lead with some pressure on it. And then finally, the last one is a set of picks. These are just standard picks. They're good for removing seals, fishing cables out of frames, bits like that. Yeah, they're a pretty good tool.
Bashman wants to know what the best sandwich is.
Well,
coronation chicken for me.
That's a good one. I'm going to say like a bagel, the Reuben.
Ooh.
I think we should ask all the staff this one.
100%.
Cheese and Marmite toasty, ready to go.
Chicken, bacon and lettuce. That's the one.
Okay, this question is kind of mechanical, but actually really relevant, I guess, for bike shops with literally all the bikes everywhere. From Bob Litch, he says, as a learning shop mechanic, I'm always getting the bikes I work on super nasty due to oily hands. Do you use different cleaners for different types of paint, gloss or matte when you're done working on them? And how do you make them look good, basically, in the shop?
So nothing too specific, really. Depends on the part of the bike you're working on. Like a disc brake cleaner is really good at getting the greasy marks off, but it's really aggressive, so it can damage some paints. Another good option is a biodegreaser, but it does leave a little bit of an oily kind of residue look to it. So it just depends, really.
And what about with differences with like sort of matte and, I don't know if there's a problem with like nice bikes that have all that stuff on, matte and gloss detailing?
Yeah, don't tend to worry too much, because unless it's the gloss is a particular lacquer that doesn't like a really aggressive cleaner, you're not going to need to worry too much about the differences.
Okay, so this one's about electronic components even. They've referenced DI2, but I guess there's e-bike stuff as well, which is really common these days. So what about usage of spray oils and displacers like MO94 on electronic components?
Yeah, so there's two sort of sprays that we'd use on that sort of thing. So this is a contact cleaner. It's non-conductive, it doesn't leave a residue, and it's there to clean the contacts once they are dirty. And then the other thing we'd use is called a corrosion blocker. There are similar products available, but this is to prevent all the corrosion, any dirt getting in there, so you don't have to use the contact cleaner product.
I got a question from my own bird. I don't reckon that you or anyone here could or should answer, so maybe you should ask me this, because I could tell you a good story here.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. What's your best, anonymous, bad customer revenge story? Oh, wow. I definitely couldn't answer this one.
Okay, so this didn't happen at a place I worked at, and this did happen for real. The mechanic in question will remain anonymous. Had a bike come in from a customer that was someone in the cycle trade that he did know, and he had a dog egg on a tyre. Stank out the workshop, he had to work on it.
Okay, so it was a friend. He did know him.
He did know him, but it was still a customer.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of blurred lines.
Yes.
And calm as anything, this person, who will remain anonymous, went upstairs. He was working in a bike shop that had a kitchen upstairs, a cafe. Some people in the West Country might know where that is. Went upstairs, got a fish, basically a particularly smelly fish. Took the seat post out.
No way.
Put it back in there, and cleaned the bike, cleaned the dog eggs off the tyres, just gave it back to the guy.
So by dog eggs, you mean dog poo?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dog eggs.
So this is the revenge. You don't bring a bike into my workshop with dog poo?
No, it's disrespectful in any bike shop. Take a bike in there clean. Never take a bike in there in bad state. And if you do, apologise and bring gifts and be as nice as you can. But anyway, this guy, when a customer collected the bike, the mechanic that did it knew that this guy was a sales rep, I think, for a particular big brand, was going to have the bike in the back of a van for a couple of weeks, peak summer. Imagine the smell of that. Yeah.
Oh,
and he said there was literally bits dripping out the bottom bracket shell. Yeah, so don't mess with mechanics in bike shops is the story.
That wouldn't happen here.
Oh, there we go. That's the end of this week's Ask GMBN Tech. Really cool filming in a genuine bike shop with the staff, finding out what they actually do. Great questions from everyone. Get involved in the comments down there. Use the hashtag Ask GMBN Tech. What is your favourite sandwich? And also, give some love to your favourite bike shops in the comments down there. And we'll do something with it on a tech show, because bike shops are awesome. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.